Did it crash? Did it blow up? It crashed. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. You know what? That's how we start this show. Hey, everybody. I'm Louis Amestoy, the host of the Bako Motorsports Power Hour, brought to you by the Bakersfield Californian and our good friends at Auto Club Famoso Raceway, Bakersfield Speedway, and Kern County Raceway Park. Mike Griffith is not here. Show the empty seat. He is gone. He is in Idaho, and I'm now joined by Blake Bowser. We're gonna miss Griff for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
but it's one of those big things. His baby girl graduating from Idaho, University of Idaho in Moscow, Idaho. And I think she's coming back to California, so they're moving her
Sounds
back.
more cool if you just say I'm going to Moscow.
That's true, yes. Our Moscow correspondent. There you go. Thank you. This is the paper's been bringing you this since the beginning, and this is show number 12. And
Uh-oh.
I'm not sure what happened in this photo, but this is from Tom Mock. But you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the whole shebang. You can get there, and you can follow us there.
It's a tough way to drive a car.
It is a tough way to drive a car. I'm not sure what's going on in that picture exactly. I'm not sure who's. Oh, that's Chris. Oh, I know what that is. I think that's Chris Dalton's car, and that's why Tom Mock took it. So there you go.
Okay.
There's a whole story there. All right. Next up on our list of things here, our Driver of the Week finalists, and I tell you what, we don't have anybody from Famoso on there. But I think we probably will next week and going into June when Andrew comes back. But Eric Richardson, Brian Richardson, Kiersey Young, Levi Kiefer, Ricky Childress Jr., Cheyenne Flippo, Johnny Butler, Tina Bell, Cale McClenny, Tony Toast, Tony Mangini, Corey Elliott. And I might have Cale and Cabe mixed up, but I can't remember exactly. One of those boys is nominated for Driver of the Week. And the way the Grumpy Griff Award works is that the winner of the fan vote gets a Grumpy Griff. We also pick our Grumpy Griff Award, and I can tell you right now that Mike Griffith believes that his pick would be Levi Kiefer, who won a Sport Mod class race at Bakersfield Speedway on Saturday. And has some sort of long, detailed, technical reason why that's the case. Right now, I think it's the McClenny kid is leading in the fan vote, but either way, both people will get Grumpy Griff Awards so far. We've had a couple
and we'll decide that
at noon.
Pretty quick.
Pretty quick at noon. So anyway, that's what's coming up. And I'm glad that Blake Bowser's now with us because let me ask you this, Blake. There is, I think this is big enough news and interesting enough to put it out there. The big Top Fuel dragsters, how much money does it cost to run one of those? Or how much money does it cost to build one of those? What are those machines worth, do you think?
There's probably $250,000 in one of those.
Right, that's why I would say $250,000. Maybe do you think the top end stuff?
Like, that's what it would take to get yourself ready to go.
When you ran when there was national events there and all the big guys would come and the Garlets and guys, what like today? What are those machines worth? You think the big ones on for the big show?
They're worth the big ones are worth that. Now to tour the entire season, you need $3 or $4 million to go on tour for the national NHRA national tour. I mean, you got to have 6-8 motors ready, because they're just changing those things out now per run. They don't. There's no more going in there and.
There he is. The race doctor's here. He's coming in. He's coming in. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only. Have a seat right there. We're replacing Mike with Mike.
Yeah.
Mike, the race doctor Mosier, is our guest host today, and there he is. Mike, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Thank you. We were talking with Blake a little bit about an interesting thing about the most expensive car we've ever seen run on a racetrack. And we're going to show something here real quick. Mike, you have to get your reaction to this.
Yeah, you talking about the Top Fuel cars. That was the case. I mean, even when they ran the warm-ups here in Bakersfield, when Bernstein and Perdome, when those guys were all here, those are $250,000 cars.
And what do you expect the most expensive setup is, as far as like a hauler and big RV? I mean, you got anything that's in the $1 million range?
Oh, easily. Buses cost that much now. Just the buses. So yeah, I mean, just a guy who wants to get a bus and get a semi rig and have a hospitality area and get his car, he's got several $1 million tied up in touring. So, but just the actual car, I'd still say it's probably $250,000, $300,000. I mean, motors are probably $75,000, and now funny cars are a little more because the bodies are, they're
custom made and
designed and lightweight, and so there's quite a bit of money in it. But
and that's one of the things.
I know where you're going. Not
racing,
compared to what was
we're going to transition here. Let's go ahead and let's show the next picture.
Yeah. That's
Dr. Mosier. That is a Bugatti.
Yeah.
That's bad.
That is bad. When this thing showed up,
yeah,
where were you? And
I was in the tower looking. Our new tower, we can see down the stage lanes. I can see the ticket booth, the main gate coming in, and immediately you could just feel it coming in. I mean, everyone turned and like, what? And what we saw were, when it was coming up, it turned and it came up the staging lanes because they were told, he was told where tech was, which is in our lanes, which is right behind the tower you see in the picture there. You could just see the little air. I'm guessing those are going to some kind of turbos or something up on top there. You could see those sticking up above the car. And I thought, what is that? And then I saw the front, and I thought, well, is it? I couldn't tell. We just couldn't tell. And immediately, people were running to the car in the staging lanes, taking pictures of it, and so I knew something was obviously up.
Actually, Chris, go back to the first photo of them staging it. Go back to that. And you can actually see the guys now. They're showing up. Everyone's got a camera and a phone
there was cameras. They, like I said, they ran over to the staging lane, which is just down that power line there where the trees are behind the tower. Everyone just immediately knew. I didn't know because I could never afford one of those cars in my life, so I was like, "Oh, that's a cool looking car." But when I saw people running to it, I thought, "Wow, something's different about that car."
Different, right? And then it runs down the track, and it turns out this is a Bugatti,
right?
And the sticker price on this car is estimated to be, what do you think?
Again, I've never really priced them. I was told these can range from $1 million to 1.7, and this is a 2008 model here. I think the check card said 2008.
Yeah.
Curious because the has no license plate on it, so
it's not something you probably drive that often, I would think.
I did hear that he runs this all over the place, goes all over and runs it, and this is one of his first times down the drag strip with it. So
unbelievable.
Yeah.
So this is
goes back to what we talked about.
Moser's got to throw in on this one.
Well, look at that airfoil in the back. That is called variable assist in the chassis setup based on aerodams. As the car's moving forward, if it senses any brake, it'll either raise or change the airflow on the rear end.
And it did that going down the track. We could see it adjust itself going down the track.
That's
incredible. Pretty cool.
That's cool. Yeah. What was the timing slip on that? I think did you text it to me?
10:03, I think it ran.
Wow.
Yeah. 140 miles an hour.
So it got up and went.
He said he did tell the guys in tech course, how fast is the car going to go? He says, well, it'll go over 200 some miles an hour, but it needs
a longer
than a standing start in a quarter mile. We're only talking 1,320 feet. That car was at 140 miles an hour.
I have a quote here from Tom Mock that I have to edit. But let me find it real quick. He actually
clean it up. You mean?
He actually quotes. He actually quotes your dad actually.
Oh yeah.
And let me see here.
And he was funny because Tom was there in the morning and then had to get over to the speedway to do. He was going to, I guess, try and do all the tracks that night, take pictures, and I got to hurry up, but I want to watch that car run.
Yeah. Quote, this is by far the most expensive car to go down the Famoso Auto Club Raceway ever.
I would agree with that.
By John Bowser.
Yeah. Other than we had like pinhole grinders out there fixing the racetrack. Those are $1 million rigs.
Those are expensive.
Yeah, that is. I mean, we talk about the top fuel cars. Those are some bad cars, but price wise, they don't compare to that.
At least I showed this to Scott Cox, the host of First Look, and, and he's like, oh yeah, that's $1 million car.
Yeah,
without a question.
Yeah,
and we start looking up, and that range is incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible.
That goes back to what you said back last week, Lewis, about you never know what's going to show up at the racetrack for the Street 200 days.
It just seems like every week there's something new that's there.
Yeah.
Here's the other quote. Then I will edit this out. Well, first off, the subject line is, almost forgot to ask blank. Did you loan your blank car to someone? This is from Tom Mock. This car owner is from Bakersfield and cool. He was not, capital all caps, a blank. He said he paid about $1.5 million for the car, and he wasn't afraid to run the car.
Yeah.
I left about the same time as he did, and he drives the car.
Yeah.
It's not a trailer queen.
Yeah, no, he drove it in.
He drove like a regular person and didn't haul ass on the street.
Yeah.
So there you go.
There you go.
Nice.
Mock says, forget all the little kids.
Refreshing, isn't it?
Yeah, Tom says, forget all the little kids and make that the driver of the week. So there you go. That's it. So, I mean... it is amazing though what will show up at Famoso Raceway.
Yeah,
and run down the deal there.
It makes for a very fun day when something like that does pull in, and I think he made 2 runs 20 minutes apart, and we saw him go out the gate. He was happy going on. Yeah.
I mean, you think about that too. It's like, I mean, I love going to your facility, but you're going to get your car dirty going up just up the parking lot.
Sure. Well, just getting out there. I mean, you have to go through, orchards. Not orchards, but I mean, along orchards, and certain times a year, they got the pollination going out there with the bees, and there's trucks going by and workers. It's not a clean process getting to and from the racetrack.
And this guy is from Bakersfield. And
yes.
Travis Ellis, I think you said it was his name.
On the tech card.
And tech card, right.
Yeah, so
there you go.
There's some money.
There's some money running around Bakersfield, right, Dr. Mosier?
Oh, yeah. I can only afford one of those in my garage at a time.
I keep thinking, wouldn't it be fun to run my old Honda Accord down the quarter mile at Famoso, and then I don't want to risk it, so these guys are brave. Let's talk for a minute about let's go to NASCAR for a second. I know that you follow it exclusively, Blake.
NASCAR,
NASCAR. But Dr. Mosier, Kevin Harvick finishes second again. Jimmy Johnson wins in Kansas, and he gets his third win of the season. But Harvick came out of it feeling pretty good about where they're at, and thought he could win it. And this was a race that was long delayed by rain. We actually couldn't even get the results in. So I was actually go back to that photo. That's just an awesome picture of the storm. Bad. Yeah. But did you get a chance to watch the race at all or catch up with it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Great race. Harvick's just solid, very consistent. He still maintains I believe a 48-point lead over his competition, which is Martin Truex. Martin Truex starting to show some pretty good talent on the track. And Jimmy Johnson with the win moves up to third. Then you got Logano and then Earnhardt making up your top five.
Yeah. It just seems like Kevin Harvick is always there in the conversation, and now Jimmy Johnson is got his third win of the season. I mean, this format with NASCAR, it might solve a lot of their problems as far as their audience and some of their attendance, because the big drivers are just every week are right there. Okay, let's keep going. Let's look at case. I have a quote here from Kevin Harvick. Quote: "We made some huge adjustments to this thing under the last green flag pit stop, and we were able to make the car a lot better. We were just in a bad spot leading the race there. I mean, the number 48 and number 88, those guys didn't have anything for us on speed. They were just doing what they had to do on the track position-wise, and then move all over the racetrack to try to get out the air off your car. The good news is we have a lot of speed in our car. We took an ill-handling race car and made it into a good car. I'm really just proud of all my guys." So that's for Kevin Harvick's statement. Casey Mears, after difficulty at Talladega, where he should have been in the top 10, finished his 19th at Kansas, and he was falling in a hurry, but now he's moved himself back up a couple more positions in the Sprint Cup standings, now 20th. So I know he was very enthusiastic. And by the way, it was the SpongeBob 400. Yeah. So
that's why I tuned in. That's what got me to tune in.
There you go. So Casey Mears had a little bit of the theme on that car for him. And then coming up this week, we have their 2 weeks in Charlotte with the Sprint Showdown at Charlotte and the All-Star Race at Charlotte and the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte. And then they go to Dover on May 31st, where the track may or may not fall apart. Moving on, Ryan Reed, he was 32nd at Richmond a couple weeks ago with a crash. He's 8th in Xfinity standings. I think they run this weekend. And moving on, and then finally, this is the guy, I should have shown a before and after photo, because last week he had the full hair and the beard. This week, I'm not sure what happened, but he got shorn at some point. But Ricky Childress Jr. winning again at Hanford. And that's an all Bakersfield top 5, I believe, right, Dr. Mosier?
Yes, it is. Childress won both Fridays in a row.
Yeah, right.
In Hanford.
Back-to-back at Hanford and beating Wayne Dotson, Cruz Griffith, Tina Pounds, and Austin Fry. So the guys are going north, and they're doing really, really well. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more from Auto Club Famoso Race. We talk more about this Bugatti that showed up, talk about the rest of the street tuners and what they have coming up this weekend, which is another big weekend, a huge car count. And we'll talk more drag racing, and we'll be right back after these messages.